Hello everyone. So we are here for the lectures on the case study, which is shoreline evaluations under the influence of the oceanographic and monsoon dynamic. So this is a case study of Terengganu coast in the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, Malaysia. As introductions, there is a common situations in Terengganu where we call it as a winter in Terengganu, where it is referring to the northeast monsoon season, which is occur in December, January, February, where this region, east coast of Peninsular Malaysia, receive a strong wind coming from northeasterly wind towards into these directions. And this area is largely affected by the strong westerly winds, and also they receive a heavy rainfall during these periods. So as everyone's mentioned, so winter in other regions normally they receive rainfall, heavy snows, but compared to winter in Terengganu, because of the southwest strong northeasterly wind, so their coastal area are much affected by the coastal erosions. Looking at these pictures that we have, this is a common scenery that we can see during the northeast monsoon seasons. So some of the beaches are severely eroded by the strong currents, big wave that hitting the coastline during these periods. And a lot of trees falling down due to the strong wind, and some of the buildings even fall into the sea because of the severe coastal erosions in these regions, especially during the northeast monsoon season. As introductions, regional geological setting. So this map here showing where is the Terengganu coast, right on the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. So this is the northern part of the Terengganu coast, moving forward right in the center, Kuala Terengganu, Kemaman, and then moving towards the south, where we have the southern part of the east coast Terengganu coast. And it is largely affected by the two monsoon season, where we have this side here. At the bottom, the bar shows the southwesterly wind, and then on the right bar shows the northeasterly wind, how strong this wind. And compare between these two monsoon season, the Terengganu coast is much affected by the northeast monsoon season. And looking at the bar graph here, it shows the rainfall in the Terengganu coast, and the highest recorded rainfall is during the December and January, where we have the peak for the northeast monsoon season. And the Terengganu coast largely 90% covered by the sandy beach, and it is constantly enriched by the sediment loads from the several major rivers such as the Terengganu River. And strong coastal currents, where normally it's got a strong coastal current, big wave, strong winds that come in from the South China Sea, and it's bring not only sand into the Terengganu coast, but also bring other granite products, which is the main source for the sediments for the coastal area here. And erosion of the beaches is the major threat right now in the Terengganu area, and it is suggested due to the longshore transport system, where the sediment is unequally distributed along the Terengganu coast. And what this study did, actually, they do the shoreline evaluations starting from 1995 to 2016 along the Terengganu coast. So this study looking for the coastal changes since 1995 to 2016. And how they do it is that the first method, they are using the aerial photograph taken from 1995 to 2016, and those images firstly will be corrected for the geometric corrections using the UTM-48 WJS 9084 projections. And then after that, for each 100-meter interval transects were generated along the Terengganu coast here, and then they use the method endpoint rate and also linear regressions as the interpolations, which they along the Terengganu coast, and then they try to compare the positive and negative numbers from year to year, from time to time, and then those come up with the positive value represent the accretion rate, and then those who shows the negative mean it is the erosion event that occurs. And from there they come up with the four scales, which is those we have more than negative 1.5 meter per year is considered as a high erosions. Meanwhile, those between minus 0.2 to minus 1.5 considered as erosions. And plus minus 0.2 to plus 0.2, that's considered as a stability, because basically that same amount you lost and same amount that we gain. And then accretions means that they have more sedimentations in the area when they have the numbers more than 0.2 meter per year. All right, so from these results, so those the high erosion represent in the red color. All right, and then those in the erosions minus 0.2 to 1.5 meter per year in the orange yellowish color. Stability, which is the amount who eroded, and then sedimentation is equal, so considered as a stability. And those who have the accretions represent in the blue color, as we all see here. This study also did a particle size analysis, where they look for the Besut. Besut is most northern area, so this part, followed by Setiu, Kuala Terengganu, Marang, Dungun, and Kemaman is most southern part of the Terengganu coast, basically. And then from this one, they also compare between southwest monsoon season and they also compare between southwest monsoon season and also the northeast monsoon season. As we can see here, largely in general, northeast monsoon season appear to have more coarse sand compared to the southwest monsoon season. And meanwhile, during southwest monsoon season, we could still see that they have medium sands and the coarse sands in certain part of the area. So what we could see here is that it shows when the an area that much affected by the strong forcing, and normally those fine sand or medium sands can easily be transported to other part of the places because we have the strong circulations that can carry all these fine particle to the other parts of the area. And then because of the strong forcing, strong wind, they also creates extra forcing, and then that's why they expose coarse sands into the surface of the area. So that's explain why during the northeast monsoon they have a coarser sand compared to the southwest monsoon season. And if we look at the area itself, so largely, so this is the coastal erosion evaluation. So the Besut northern part, they have more acerations, sedimentations compared to the southern part of the Terengganu coast here. So this slide shows to us basically the three factors that this study doing. This study also gathered the tidal elevations data from the Chendering port from 1984 to 2014. So this study tried to observe on the sea level change throughout these years from 1984 to 2014. And this study discovered that through this analysis of the tidal elevation, it shows that plus minus increments of the 0.03 meter to 0.03 to 4 meter within 28 years. So it indicates that the slightly sea level rise from the Chendering port's tidal elevations data. And the second part, this study also have the wave models from Mike 21SW, where the obvious comparison is between southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon season. As we could see here that they have the legends here, and then during the southwest monsoon there is a less wave, a smaller wave that generated spotted along the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. Meanwhile, during the northeast monsoon area, large of the area coming from Kuala Terengganu on the south are receiving the big wave coming from the South China Sea. And then the numbers is also, the significant wave high is higher during the northeast monsoon season compared to the southwest monsoon season. So it shows that during this time, during the northeast monsoon season, the Terengganu coast receive bigger wave compared to the southwest monsoon. And this study also had take a look on the surface current circulation using the regional ocean modeling system (ROMS), where they try to look on the forcing that affecting along the east coast of the Malaysia, especially on the part of the Terengganu coast. As we can see here, during southwest monsoon, the currents are moving northward along the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia generally, and then during the northeast monsoon, as we can see there, the current moving southwards right along of the east coast of Peninsular Malaysia. As we can see here, I would like to highlight that at the southern part of this area, in the Dungun, Kemaman, and towards the southern part of the Terengganu, largely receive the direct influence that coming from the South China Sea, and also this one coming from the Karimata Strait. So this area considered as largely affected by the strong currents, big wave that coming from the South China Sea. So basically, those forcing in the South China Sea straight hitting part to the Dungun, Kemaman, and toward the southern part of the Terengganu coast. Compared to the northern part of the Terengganu, right in the islands here, Floredang and onwards, to the northern part of the Terengganu. So as we can see, the currents during northeast is slightly lower value compared to the southern part of the Terengganu coast. Same coast during the southwest monsoon. The southern part is much more stronger current compared to the northern part of the Terengganu coast. Alright, so as a summary for this study, shows that the main causes of the erosions along the Terengganu coast is that three factors. The first one is sea level rise. As we can see, one of the tidal in the Chendu report shows the slightly sea level rise, plus minus 0.03 meter per in over 28 years. And then stronger current in the southern part of the Terengganu coast compared to the northern part of the Terengganu coast, especially during the northeast monsoon season. And this trend same with the wave, so the bigger wave hitting the southern part of the Terengganu coast during the northeast monsoon season. And the current and wave parameters are largely dominated, of course, again by the monsoon season, which is southwest monsoon and northeast monsoon, especially the northeast monsoon season right on the Terengganu coast. Right, so as the solutions for the coastal erosion in Terengganu, this study the study also take a look on the example of the structure that have been used in the Terengganu coast, along the Terengganu coast as a coastal protections. As you can see here, the figure A shows the breakwater and seawall at the Besut area, northern part of the Terengganu. B is a groin at the Terengganu coast, at the Kuala Terengganu, right in the center. C is the breakwater at the Kuala Terengganu. D is the expansion block at Marang, slightly south of the Kuala Terengganu. Groin at the Dungun, and last part F, this picture shows the breakwater and revetment at the Kemaman, which is most southern part of the Terengganu coast. So the E and F is largely Dungun, and Kemaman is largely area that much affected by the strong current and big wave during the northeast monsoon season. Right, so that will be the conclusion of this study. And if you are interested more on this topic, you may take a look on this chapter 5, coming from the coastal zone management. So it's one of the chapter from this book entitled Shoreline Evaluations Under the Influence of the Oceanographic Monsoon Dynamic, the case of the Terengganu, Malaysia. So you may use your second device to scan this QR code, or perhaps you can quickly search by using the title here. That's all. Thank you very much, everyone.